major blow to big labor as Michigan becomes a right-to-work state. A new law will bar unions from requiring workers to pay membership dues. Governor Rick Snyder signed the measure last night.
Shouldn't the unions be putting out a proposition that workers want to join a union? And shouldn't workers feel free to make that choice to say their dollars are going to that union or not based on they feel they're getting results? So that's what this is really doing. So that's why I view this as pro-worker, not anti-union.
But is the right-to-work bill the right thing for middle-class economics? Joining us now to talk about this is David Madlin. He's the director of the American Worker Project at the Center for American Progress. Is this... David, are we at, what does this make? 20, how many is that now? Is that 25 or 27 states now? 23.
Yeah, so this is, we've seen a couple of states recently where for a long time, it was about 40 years ago where states had passed these laws. And unfortunately, the evidence is really clear that these laws have a significant impact on the middle class. They really harm them. If you look at the typical worker in a right-to-work state, they earn about $1,500 less than the comparable worker in a non-right-to-work state.
Right. There's, we need to look at it a lot of different ways. The number of people employed, are more people able to be employed if the wage is slightly lower? And then there's global competitiveness. It must be. You've seen all the other side, David, claims all these benefits that accrue to states that are right to work. You can just systematically shoot down every claim as just illusory?
Pretty much, so take the jobs claim, the state that has the highest unemployment rate right now is a right-to-work state. So it's not that the right to work actually gives you jobs, and the best evidence we have was about Oklahoma, which is sort of the most recent state to go right to work, over which there's enough time period to study. And we look is actually manufacturing employment declined after they went right to work. So what really it does is it lowers wages and hollows out the middle class. And by hollowing out the middle class, that is really not good for the economy. Sure, you might have lower wages, and that might be an incentive to invest, but there are other reasons businesses invest. The transportation infrastructure, the quality of the workforce, the consumers that are going to buy their goods, and all of those things are hollowed out by a weak middle class.
But David, the one thing that I don't understand is I figure if something really helps and something is really a positive for society, it's almost like natural selection causes it to stay vibrant and active and alive. What do you attribute the decline in overall union rates in the United States? Is that due to a concerted attack on unions by evil forces, or is it just dropped to 7% from being antiquated and through its own weight of not being competitive?
Well, I think most of the story with the decline of the percentage of workers in unions is that our current law allows employers to really attack workers who want to exercise basic rights to join a union. For example, if a worker is illegally fired for attempting to join a union, the law is so weak that at best, after years, they might get some percentage of their back pay. No other penalties, nothing. And so with really weak laws like that, you have an incentive for businesses to not protect workers' rights. So that, I think, is much of the story, because you also see polls show that the majority of workers, when asked, say they would like to join a union. So you've got high percentage of people saying they'd like to, but very low percentage actually joining. And I think that disconnect is largely explained by a weak state of our current law. And right to work goes even further by undercutting the ability of workers to join unions, because what it does is it takes away the financial model of any business is to charge workers for services. Okay. So workers get to get away with the benefits of union membership without paying for them.